before you even consider shelling out $150,000 for an MBA. Ask yourself, did you know that 67% of successful Inc.'s 500 founders never set foot in a business school? According to a recent Kaufman Foundation study, the overwhelming majority of top entrepreneurs built thriving companies without an MBA and without all that crushing debt. Now, imagine being able to save yourself not just the cost of tuition, but years of loan payments, stress, and uncertainty, just by learning a 5-part framework that you can start using this weekend. In this video, I'll reveal the exact blueprint that helped me and countless others understand business from scratch, the same blueprint that could save you thousands and put you years ahead. Stay with me because by the end, you'll have a step-by-step plan to test your business idea this week, totally risk-free. Let's break the cycle. Your shortcut to real-world business success starts now. Let's get real for a minute here. The classic path to business success is, it's not only expensive, it's outdated. And according to recent data from the Graduate Management Admission Council, the average MBA student now graduates with over $66,300 in debt. As of 2023, that's before you even factor in interest or lost years on the job market. The traditional script says, go to college, climb the corporate ladder. And if you're really serious, take out a 6-figure loan for an MBA. That's $250,000 if you factor in living expenses. I almost went down that exact road. I had the glossy brochures, the supposed golden ticket, course lists. When I saw the tuition, I literally felt my future tightening into a straitjacket of monthly debt. Was I really about to mortgage my life just to get some letters by my name? Sure, everyone talks about the network. But is meeting a specific set of classmates worth a decade or more of repayment? Type MBA thoughts in the comments if you've ever struggled with this decision or felt like you needed that degree to be taken seriously in business. That anxiety used to eat at me, too. I started telling myself, well, maybe I'll just never truly understand business. But then I stumbled onto something that flipped my thinking. A book called The Personal MBA by Josh Kaufman. The big message. Everything they teach in business school, you can learn yourself, with a library card and the discipline to follow a proven framework. That realization crushed the myth of business school being this ivory tower club, the sole gatekeeper to real business knowledge. And the core of that framework, 5 universal parts that define every successful business. Whether we're talking about Apple or about a single food truck rolling through Austin, let's dive into the framework. I'll break down each of these 5 business pillars, walk you through the actionable steps. And by the end, you'll know how to pressure test your idea without wasting a dime or 1,000 hours. We'll start with the first pillar, and I'll use a local coffee shop as our running example for clarity. Step 1 of 5. Value creation. According to the U.S. Small Business Administration, nearly 42% of startups fail simply because there's no market need for what they're offering. Value creation isn't just brewing coffee. It's figuring out what your customers truly crave. Is it a quiet corner to escape their day? A sense of community? Or just that perfectly foamed latte that turns a morning into a ritual? Dig deeper than the product. What problem are you solving? What desire are you fulfilling? Ask your customers. Observe them. Notice their patterns. For example, if your coffee shop regulars linger long after their drinks are done, maybe what they really want is a comfortable space and reliable Wi-Fi. The real value is an experience, not just a beverage. Here's a quick action for you. Write down 3 things your favorite business gives you beyond the product. Comment one of them now. I want to see what truly stands out. Next, Step 2 of 5, marketing. According to HubSpot's 2023 marketing statistics, content marketing gets 3 times more leads per dollar than paid ads. You can craft the best cup of coffee in your city, but if no one knows you exist, your doors won't stay open long. Marketing is the bridge from creation to connection. Everything from your Instagram reels and that bold chalkboard sign, to the playlist and the vibe people feel the second they step in. It's about storytelling and inviting people into your world. And remember, every element, from the font on your menu to the music playing in the background, is branding. Social media is a force, but so is word of mouth, partnerships with local gyms, and participating in neighborhood events. Ready for proof? Hit like and drop a comment telling me what you'd rather invest $150,000 in: your business, your freedom, or something else. APA. Your answer helps this community see just how many options are out there. Now, step 3 of 5, sales. Believe it or not, Salesforce found in a recent survey that 61% of small business owners say sales is their single biggest challenge. Sales is the act of turning a curious visitor into a paying customer. Someone notices your coffee shop, thanks to your marketing, and walks in. How do you turn that interest into a transaction? And more importantly, into loyalty? It's the personal touches, guiding them to the perfect menu item, showing real care, making recommendations, maybe introducing someone to cold brew for the first time, explaining its nuances, and pairing it with a pastry. Those are tiny moments that unlock trust. But sales is also about resilience. You're going to hear no a lot more than yes. The true difference: following up without being pushy, refining your offer, and always keeping the customer's needs front and center. Sales is often the toughest part to master, so stick with me. I'll be doing an entire video on this pillar alone soon. If you want the deep dive, make sure you subscribe to Money Masters so you don't miss it. Entrepreneur. On step 4 of 5, value delivery. According to American Express's most recent customer service barometer, over 50% of people will ditch a business after a single bad service experience. Value delivery is about living up to, or exceeding, the promises you made in marketing and sales. If your latte was described as rich and creamy, it needs to be just that. So, delivered at the right temperature, in a clean cup, with a smile, in a space that feels intentionally cared for. This is every detail that makes a customer say, "This is exactly what I hoped for. I want to come back." Flawless delivery builds sticky loyalty, and enough advocates can drive your business further than any ad campaign ever will. Action for this section. Pick one business you love and note a time they went above and beyond. Write it down for your business inspiration file. Now, step 5 of 5, finance. This is where new entrepreneurs freeze up. But it's simpler than you think. Harvard Business Review reports nearly 82% of small businesses fail due to cash flow problems more than any other reason. Are you bringing in more money than you're spending? For your coffee shop, does the revenue from every $5 latte actually cover the beans, the milk, the cup, your rent, payroll, and leave something for you to reinvest or pay yourself? This is basic math, not high-level accounting. Keep costs transparent, review them monthly. And don't be afraid to raise prices if your value improves. Here's a do this now action. Set up a free budgeting tool, like Wave or Mint, to track your income and outgoing costs. No MBA required. Let's pause here, because we've just covered the 5 foundational pillars: creation, marketing, sales, delivery, and finance. Every successful business leader I've ever looked up to, from Sarah Blakely, who started Spanx with just $5,000 and no formal business, education, to the founders of Patagonia, followed these same patterns of trust. Their industries changed, but these 5 pillars stood strong through decades of growth. Trees. But here's where most people trip up. Not with the business engine, but with the direction they point it. This is what Kaufman calls the iron law of the market. And I can't overstate its importance. According to CB Insights, the #1 reason startups fail, found in 42% of cases, is no market need. Not bad timing, not poor team, but building something nobody wanted. The iron law says the market, real people with real problems and wants, doesn't care about your idea. It cares about having its needs met. People build a fancy solution and then scramble desperately to find someone who might want it. Instead, start with the problem. History is full of these hard lessons. Picture 90-10. You're the best carriage maker anyone's ever seen. Your work is unmatched. But Henry Ford comes along and meets the market's deeper need: faster, cheaper, cleaner transportation with the Model T. The carriage maker, no matter how skilled, is left behind. Today, you see this with companies like Netflix. They began by mailing DVDs to solve people's hate of late fees from Blockbuster. When the market shifted, Netflix led the pivot to streaming because people wanted instant access. Netflix didn't cling to DVDs just because it was their thing. They followed the iron law and thrived. Here's a share-worthy quote for your notes. No matter how good your idea, the market has the final say. If this hits home, share it or drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you spend $150,000 for an MBA in today's economy? If your answer is no, tell us why below. Let's get a real discussion going. So, how do you avoid building a better carriage? Something nobody wants. You must validate the idea with the real world before you spend months, or worse, years, building. Enter the minimum viable sale, a concept that flips business planning upside down. Forget expensive business plans, glossy websites, or waiting until everything's perfect. Make one single sale first, that's all. If you can do that, you've already overcome the biggest obstacle. Here's how you test it in 4 steps. Step 1. The problem interview. Your mission is to talk to 3 real people in your target market. No pitching, no selling, no hint of your solution. Just ask, what's your biggest challenge with X? What have you tried? Take notes and listen for repeated frustrations. That's where the market is whispering its desire. Step 2. Craft your 1-sentence value proposition. Open your notes and fill in this blank as: I help specific person get specific outcome by your unique solution. Examples: I help new yoga instructors get their first paying clients by handling their bookings and payments for them. The key is to make it about their result, not your product features. This line is your laser beam, combining value creation and marketing in one. Write your own 1-sentence pitch right now and post it in the comments. I'll pick a few to give feedback on, right in the thread. Step 3. Design the transaction. Start manual, they're not fancy. Use tools like Calendly to set up meetings, PayPal for payments. or even just a simple spreadsheet to track tasks and progress. Pick a fair price, just enough to make it a real test of value, usually $50, $100, or $200. Remember, this isn't about making money, but about verifying whether someone will pay to solve their pain point. When ready, go back to your interviewees and say, based on what you told me, I can help you with X for Y price. Interested. Step 4. Analyze the result. Did anyone say yes? If so, congratulations. You have the market's blessing. Now you can invest in scale, apps, systems, bigger marketing. If not, you've just saved yourself months of wasted effort. Go back to step 1, refine and try again. Either way, you win almost instantly. Here is a mini case study you should know. Michelle Schroeder Gardner started the blog, Making Sense of Sense, without an MBA. Just a goal to solve a common pain, confusing personal finance advice. She started small, wrote in plain English, and monetized by helping readers understand money. Fast forward, her business now generates over $100,000 per month. She bootstrapped, iterated, and let her audience pull her along, not a credential. At every step, your actions are more valuable than your credentials. Download my free Business Blueprint Checklist, linked below, to guide you through each step this week. A quick recap. 5 pillars: value creation, marketing, sales, value delivery, and finance. Then, the iron law. Validate that the market truly cares before building the solution. And finally, test your minimum viable sale with real conversations and simple tools. No apps. No business plans, just action. One more resource for those who want to track their progress. If you want my Google Sheet Minimum Viable Sale Tracker, leave a comment, tracker, and I'll share it with you. Now, let's talk about what happens if your MVP sale works. You're probably thinking, do I have to build an app or fund a factory? Not yet. This is where Josh Kaufman's idea of the 12 forms of value comes in. Ways you can capture and deliver value besides building risky products up front. That, however, deserves its own episode. So make sure you're subscribed to Money Masters and have downloaded the checklist. Next video, we'll break down all 12 forms and help you pick the perfect one for your idea. And save months, maybe even years of wasted effort. To wrap up, remember, every $150,000 MBA can be replaced with $150 worth of books and a weekend of tested work. That's what I want you to walk away with. A proven framework, relentless action, and the confidence to build without waiting for someone else's permission. Let's quickly recap what you've learned today, sir. The MBA path is no longer mandatory for entrepreneurship. Instead, you now have the 5-part business framework straight from the personal MBA that covers value, creation, marketing, sales, value delivery, and finance. We discussed the iron law of the market, proving that market demand, not credentials, is what drives real business success. Your action steps are clear. This week, have 3 honest problem interviews in your target area. Write your 1-sentence value proposition and attempt 1 minimum viable sale. Tracking every result. Download the free Business Blueprint Checklist to structure your process and comment. Tracker. If you want the spreadsheet, over the next month, your goal is to run this simple validation loop at least twice so you learn directly from the market. Over the next year, focus on finding your first paying customer and start refining your delivery and finances with free tools like Wave or Mint. Realistically, you'll know within a week if you're working on a problem the market wants solved. And within 3 months, you'll have collected game-changing feedback, or maybe even your first revenue. Don't let MBA-sized barriers slow you down. Take action tonight, and you'll be miles ahead by the end of the year. One final time. Grab the checklist from the link below. It's my exact step-by-step system. Subscribe to Money Masters for the next deep dive where we'll unpack the 12 forms of value so you can scale your idea wisely. And don't forget, drop a comment with your best outside the classroom business lesson or your #1 MBA fear. This community is built on real stories. Let's learn from each other. This video is strictly educational. None of this is legal or business advice. Results will vary. And always do your own research before making big decisions. Oh, so